person waiting. We
Not that
are
hard.
live. Should show up on your screen any minute.
Oh,
Doing the countdown.
There you
yeah,
go. You're in the countdown.
there we go. We've got a live button, I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah, hopefully we said hopefully it'll wrestle up a little bit of Canadian interest. We've been watching everybody down there swapping seeds like crazy and posting their videos, and we actually did look up the rules, and you can send seeds,
you can do it, but it takes a bit more planning
and paperwork.
So, yeah. So, well, and there's always the chance that they'll get lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And then you wait.
Especially.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And we said apparently to send for the U.S. to send to us isn't so difficult. But for us to send to them, they're actually supposed to get a permit, even if it's only a couple seeds. Yeah. So it's like,
ridiculous, right?
Yeah. So because that's what we were like, we've had people watch our videos on the Scotia tomatoes or whatever, and send seeds, but it's like I don't know if we can, especially when they're not in a proper packet. So.
Yeah, especially when they're from your own plants, right? Because then there's even more question about it.
Yeah,
they're not packaged in a commercial plant. And what diseases are you sending us? Whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. They open it up, and then it's just like, or you send a whole bunch, and they open them up, and then they just bung them back in the bag, and you're just like, oh, well, now everything's all mixed up.
Yeah.
Usually just disappear.
Yeah.
I haven't sent you my address yet, but you can assume that I'm going to participate.
Yep, we did.
We've jumped to that conclusion. But it's working out. I mean, there's definitely enough interest so far that, it'll be a good swap amongst a few.
Yeah.
We kind of said maybe we'll play with the rules a little bit once we know the interest level and
how many people,
what people want to do exactly. I mean, I think one of the swaps in the States, what was it you said?
They were passing
a box around, and people were just putting in and taking out. And
right.
We thought about that method, but then people were saying it was getting so expensive to ship it.
Yeah.
And you've got the dilemma that takes time to go around to everybody. So if you want to start your seeds end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough time.
That should have been going on in November.
Exactly.
So see it doing something like that. Yeah.
Sure. So we kind of said this method I think will work well for this year, and then we'll just see how it kind of goes, because it probably should have been organized a little bit earlier. So
we still have time though.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, if we get stuff shipped out by the beginning of February.
That's what we kind of thought.
At the latest, like the 15th, like even I get to plant early, and I still can't plant before like the beginning to mid-February, right?
Yeah. Well, then we kind of thought it's like for us, usually February we're starting peppers, and then March is tomatoes and that. So that's plenty of time for us with Zone 5. So I'm sure for most
kind of evens it all.
For most of Canada, anyway, you're not going to have the weather we have out here, right? So,
well, and then people might get a few seeds that they actually want to start, we're trying to do our little grow room thing and all that sort of stuff. So there might be something that you just experiment with growing over the winter months or earlier too. But I think they'll get a little bit of stuff in there, and that'll be good.
Yeah, I've got some stuff I'm trying to grow inside just for I just got my lights last spring, so I've never really grown inside before.
Well, that's our big thing. We've grown under the old fluorescent tubes.
Yeah.
Years, and they're okay, but usually after the one season they don't. You got to work out, and you usually have to replace them. So this is the first year we're really looking into the LED stuff. That's a whole, new world of information to try.
Oh, and there's so many different ones, and so much. Trying to figure it out is like,
Yeah. I went by the ratings.
Yeah.
The customer ratings, and then I like to read the customer questions, because I don't know enough about the different types that are out there and stuff and what does what. I don't know any of that stuff. So I looked for the ones that had lots of ratings and a high rating, and then reasonably priced, right?
Oh yeah. This guy, they're like all over the place price wise. They go
Yeah,
really high for some of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
some of
we
the
need
really high-priced ones didn't have very good ratings.
exactly. Well, it seemed like the things that were the high price stuff was the stuff that the big box stores carried.
Right.
And then
When you go online, it was different.
started looking, like we weren't thinking to order stuff like that through Amazon. And then a friend of ours said, go to Amazon. Don't, and we just went, jeepers, they're like half the price.
Yeah. And with Amazon too, if you don't like going through Amazon, you can find out who the seller is, and quite often the sellers will have their own private website that you can go to and purchase.
Yeah, exactly. So
and there's some people who are just against Amazon. I'm not. I love Amazon, but
yeah. Well, so far they've been pretty good. We've gotten a few things for the growing stuff from it, and
for sure.
It's just kind of one of those, we never were really online shoppers. We like to go and look at things and whatever. So this whole pandemic has kind of changed that. Now we're learning to be online shoppers.
Yeah. See, I was an online shopper before the pandemic, so.
So now you're in real trouble.
Yeah. No, it's just that much easier now, right?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. No, that's just it. So, it's a neat way to kind of get more for your dollar.
Yeah.
Which is good.
For sure.
But and I think, what do we have?
I got my copy of my notes.
Yeah, he's got his notes. He's got his notes there, but
need them. Well, there's nobody really here. There's
no.
3 people watching, so I don't know if somebody just popped in or.
I don't know. I also don't know if we count either.
I don't either. Oh, there's somebody else who just popped in. I got 4 watching now.
Okay.
Well, if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, it was just kind of a thing to pop on to try and kind of see if there was any questions about it.
The one question that we have had so far was about if it's okay to use purchase seeds. And maybe we didn't do a great job of explaining it, but if anybody is watching right now, absolutely, because we do want to include everybody, or anybody. I think the only caveat to that was if it can be an open pollinated or heirloom type thing, so that people could save seeds from it. I mean, the sky's the limit. I think we even had one conversation about like slips and cuttings from things.
Oh wow!
We didn't include that because I don't know how to ship that. But if somebody does have experience with it, then that's fantastic too.
Or if somebody's local to you too, right? Like I would I'd love to meet some gardeners on Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
I don't know anybody. Well, I know I have a couple of neighbors that garden, but.
Well, I think we don't have too much right around us anyways. There's some local, well, not this year, I don't think anybody's doing the seed swap things, but there was some local ones.
Yeah.
But
they're kind of few and far between.
Yeah, it seems to be a dying trend.
Thing.
So maybe that'll change now, but.
Yeah, well, we can hope. So one thing that we should mention, though, is that we will be changing the time to Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tuesday is kind of a bad time because there's a bunch of people with lives going on right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we kind of were. Tuesday was the night that we had chosen to do our live originally. And it was just like, there was so many on Tuesday. And you're trying to squeeze in and you're trying to, you also don't want to miss somebody.
Right, exactly. So many people are doing so many things that you can't make it to all of them, right?
Oh, no, exactly. So
you can only sit in so many lives at one time. But yeah, Mondays work much better for me. It was just yesterday was Dave's birthday, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
well, okay.
We only put it out there 3 days ago, so
yeah. So I think that for next week to aim for the Monday and still 5 for you, 8 for us, I think still works really well.
Okay.
But hopefully we kind of thought what we would maybe try and do is kind of keep posting a couple videos that mention it or that sort of thing.
Well, especially between now and what was it, the 24th of January?
Right. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some on planting my garden and going through my seeds and that kind of stuff too. So when I'm doing those that are garden related, I'll definitely be mentioning this and say, hey, get in on it. We want to get people in on it. We still have a couple of weeks, right? 12 days?
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we kind of thought doing, and we're going to do a couple just showing some of the seeds that we probably will put into this, like some of the varieties we are thinking about putting into the swap. One lady had mentioned that she'd like to do a video and actually say what she's looking for and
Right.
what she's offering, so that you know, you kind of know a little bit better what you're you know, getting and giving, I guess.
It helps with the discussion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that'd be a great idea. And even if before at one of our lives, as many people can get on as possibly can and talk to the different people who are going to be sending seeds and
well, and the other thing
that was what we were kind of thinking, that we do that as that forum to get people chatting.
Hi, Getting Clean on the Prairies. I see they're just popped up there.
Glad you made it.
But yeah, we thought, and the other thing too was it'd be kind of nice after we get going with the, you know, whether it's talking on the lives or however with the seeds and having it that if someone's talked about something that somebody else would love to potentially get some seeds for, they can at least contact that person and be like, you know, we're trying to build it as a community where, you know, we want to do this in future years.
Gardeners.
Yeah, and you know, it'd be a great way to share seeds all the time. And you know, so if somebody's got something that someone's always wanted to try and grow, even if they don't get chosen as swap partners, you know, you could still contact that person and say, hey, you know, we did the exchange together, and I'd really love to get some of these seeds. You know, I mean, that's what I think that's the one thing. Once you start saving seeds, even if you're not saving seeds, but once you start saving them, you end up saving a lot more than you ever need.
I have only just started saving seeds, but
yeah, like this is our tiger beans from last year. We're not planting those.
Those are what?
Tiger beans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how clear it'll come out.
They're really neat. They're like a striped, like a tiger, like stripy. Oh, you're gonna try and hold this up? You think it's gonna focus?
Oh no, this one's not really
This one's a really pretty pattern. Unfortunately, the pattern doesn't stay when you cook it.
Yeah, no, not usually.
Can't really
hold it still. Oh, they're two-tone brown. They're kind of neat.
Blurry, but
they're all a little different. But we like that one. It's a bush bean.
But yeah, that's where we've kind of gone down the. It's like our tomato seeds. I mean, we have a few varieties that we love and have, you know, they've really worked for us. So we've been saving seeds from them for 10 years. And each year we save probably 1,000 seeds from each kind.
Wow.
So I'm gonna question there, Getting Clean on the Prairies.
Okay, which
so I think that's the biggest question. We had mentioned it a few minutes ago, but that's the biggest question. Do they have to be ones that you've grown yourself? And the answer is no, they don't. The only thing we would like is if they're open pollinated or heirloom type seeds that people could save seeds from, because that's the big challenge, right? Like so many people, when they start gardening, they don't save seeds or they're not thinking about it. And I don't know, that's the part it would be really nice for, you know, you can't save everything, or most of us can't save everything, but it's nice to save some of them at least. So
yeah, well, and that's where it's nice when you build up a community, because if someone say, well, for Chris and I, we're fortunate enough to have a big enough gardening space that we can actually spread out the peppers far enough that they don't cross-pollinate
or try
to, you know, we've got, we're fortunate enough to garden over 20 acres, but for someone in town, maybe they can only grow lettuce seeds. They can't grow other stuff because they don't have this, or tomatoes because they only have to be 3 meters apart, or, but that's where building the community is nice, because they can access seeds from people such as Chris and I who do have that and save a ridiculous amount of seeds, because that's just that. Well, that's the hoarding mentality.
We have everything. No.
Exactly. It's like canning pots. I have so many canning pots.
but yes, definitely. That's been the biggest question so far, and I think we've even had a few people hesitate because they're kind of like, well, I can't participate because I don't have anything. And
right. Right.
If anybody is talking to somebody else, or if they share this with anybody, definitely stress that point. That no, they don't have to, because we want everybody.
Yeah.
People who have done it for 30 years and people who have never grown a garden ever.
And the other thing that we also thought of after, see, you do that initial video and then you think of all these things after that you should have put in it. But the other thing that we didn't touch on in the video was how many seeds. And that's the one thing, because we don't want it to get to something where it's expensive for people to do, because, you know, I know it's only $3.29 for a pack of seeds, but we don't expect you to buy 3 different packs of seeds and mail them. You know, we're thinking more along the lines of, you're probably going to take that and maybe you only send 20 seeds of each species and label them yourself.
Basically, there's no set.
Yeah,
when it comes to that, it's kind of all up in the air.
Well, it probably depends on the cost of the seed too for the person sending it. Like if you buy 10 seeds for $5, then
you're not going.
Send one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we were, you know, some people are even fortunate enough. Like we had, there's people that grow trees and get seeds, like the chestnut trees and you know things like that, which are still qualify in a seed exchange. Yet you're not going to send 20 or 30 seeds because they're not.
Right.
I mean, I think what if we bought chestnut seeds and what were they, like $3 something a seed?
Yeah, but that's chestnut.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I'm just using it as an example. But there's definitely some different ways to look at this. I think everybody is going to just.
Well, I think the big thing was, and that's where when we put it out or when we thought about it, we have no idea how big it could get, for lack of a better way to put it. So we didn't really flesh out sort of that latter part of, you know, once we hit the 24th, how we pair people up. But we were basically thinking once we pair people up, like, and if we don't have a big turnout, maybe we'll just be everybody. I don't know.
Right.
It really depends. But once we pair people up, like, you know, you're getting all those what we say, 5 people that you're sending to, you're getting all their contact information basically, so that you can kind of talk back and forth too, right? Yeah. So it's not like an ironclad. You must send 5 varieties.
Have you thought about maybe replying to the people who have contacted you and ask them, like, how many people would you be willing to send seeds to? How many people would you like to receive seeds from?
We were thinking about that. We were kind of waiting till tonight because we've only been out there for 3 days.
Yeah, we thought maybe if some people came in and brought it up in here, then that would be a discussion rather than doing the email type thing.
But we're definitely, like, there's a few people, like I said, we've got the 12 committed right now, which I think is pretty good. And then we've got 5 or 6 more that are kind of
on the fence, like, you know, I need to check my stash and all that, which is fine. And that's where it'd be nice to kind of be able to say, like, we're not expecting you to mail a whole pack of seeds, and, you know, because I think most people, they get the seeds, they're not growing 20 of the plant. They're going to, you know,
you get so many in a pack of seeds, and they're only good for so long, right?
Hey, Gudrun Yardning.
Hello.
Thanks for stopping
in.
We feel bad that you can't, but we're glad you're here anyway.
We could take on Amy's theory of putting seeds in maracas and send them to Gudrun.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's in with a T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope they don't scan it.
Yeah.
Right? What are all those little things in that T-shirt?
Yeah. Well, you know, and we've had people say, one gentleman that is participating, he said he's done 25 seed swaps. I think he said 25 already this year, and most of them were U.S. And he only had one package not get to where it was supposed to go.
Oh, that's good to know.
It seems that you can do it. It's just
it's good to
if
know
you lose the seeds, you lose the seeds.
Right. Which is good. Yeah. Like, I send packages to the States fairly often. In fact, I just had 2 packages that showed up at where I sent them today. So,
yeah.
I mean, seeds, though, some people are weird about seeds.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of what we'll be sending will be home saved seeds, which aren't in a proper package.
Right.
And that's where they kind of, I think, probably look at it a bit more.
Package is damaged or something, and then they're left with those seeds and packages.
We're definitely happy to have a lot of Americans cheering us on.
Yes.
Well, I think that'll be really interesting because I'm really hoping, like we didn't make it a requirement, but I'm hoping people do track how they do with things over the growing season.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll be the most interesting part because, like, I've done seed swaps in the past and that, and you exchange seeds and that's it. You have no idea.
Yeah, you don't know if
how did you do with it? How did those such and such a seed grow for you?
Exactly.
Especially like with trading, if I trade seeds with you, you guys are the other side of the country. So what grows good for you out there might not necessarily grow good.
And that's where it'd be interesting to know how it did for you.
Mostly just follow the progress, right? It's like, it's kind of that neat thing. The premise is to try to get people to share and eventually save seeds, but then you kind of want to know, like, how was your harvest? Did you plant do well? Did you like them?
Did you like them as much as we do, you know, because we love them, but maybe somebody else doesn't, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, and sometimes it's nice to have the social aspect of like what we're doing now. It's like one of the seeds that I kind of want to include for whoever gets chosen for us is we call them Bama's beans. And they are from my grandmother. And she grew them for
another blurry bean.
Another blurry bean jar. For 32 years ago? 34 years ago. She got them from her Chinese neighbor. And no idea what they're called. Her neighbor had been growing them for years and gave her a couple, and they went crazy. And so she gave me a couple. She gave my mom a couple. And it's so, anyways, we don't know what they are. They're just Bama's beans. They grow amazing. And I said, that's going to be my little note that goes with the Bama's beans to everywhere in Canada.
Perfect. So are they a green bean or a drying bean?
They are a pole bean.
They're both.
Yeah.
Okay. Green, and you can eat them dried.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a pole bean.
Yeah. And, we do them mostly as a dried bean. Or, I mean, as a green bean, because we grow a lot of ones for drying. So,
fleshy.
Yeah. Yeah, they freeze really nice, and then you can chuck them and stuff, and they're really good at that sort of thing. But anyways, you know, that sort of stuff, that's what we want to kind of, you know, as people get into saving things or share something that they've got you know, that element of pride in, like, I've been growing these for so long, or, you know, and that becomes contagious to people who haven't been doing it for a long time. And it just starts I'm not going to call it a movement, because, I mean, people have been saving seeds for years, so it's not really a movement. But
it is, though. It's a re-emerging movement.
There you go. Yeah. So
very true.
It is kind of, you know, I mean, it's a great skill to develop, and it's a great thing to share around, and it keeps like some stuff that maybe doesn't get out to the other side of Canada. You could send it. Maybe it would take off and be successful, and who knows?
Yeah, very true.
Well, I know I have a friend in Ontario who's been looking for Aunt Molly's ground cherry seeds.
Oh,
I'm trying to get her to come tonight. I don't know if she's going to show up or if she's email
ground cherry
until then. But
yeah, I've grown. I grew the pineapple ground cherries years ago.
Okay,
they were pretty good, but I've never grown the Aunt Molly's ones.
I have Aunt Molly. I have a ton of Aunt Molly's seeds.
Oh, nice.
There you go. There you go. Well, remember that if you're talking with us.
There you go.
Yeah. So Guten has lots of seeds. I can imagine. You should start a Wisconsin movement there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. We've been watching Guten Yardning's growing indoors, and I think he grows as much indoors as we successfully grew outdoors last year.
Oh my! I'll need to check that out.
Yeah, they're amazing gardening family.
Nice. My cats tend to eat stuff, so I'm kind of confined to a small area where I can actually have stuff going on.
You have to wire around everything.
We had
Hi, Roland.
Yeah, our room is that we're building downstairs is cat proof.
Yeah, we had to. Our new grow room that we're building is cat proof.
Okay. Yeah.
Any pot with dirt, and they're in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if my cats were younger, they'd be into my garden right now, but they're getting pretty old and they can't quite jump that high anymore. So, how's it going, Roland?
Hey, Roland. Nice to see ya.
Roland is a Canadian gardener.
I know. He's not very far from us.
Oh, there you go.
Hopefully he'll.
Yes, we haven't had an email from him yet to participate in the swap. Just putting it out there.
Not to nag or anything, but
that's why I said I'm going to give people time. I'm not going to go and knock on doors yet, but there's a few people in our playlist that I'm pretty sure should be in the swap.
I sent a few. I was poking around at different Shed Wars stuff yesterday and sending out invites to people.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few Canadians that are doing Shed Wars. The more we watch videos, the more we go, jeepers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Peggy. Peggy is the one I told about it. I don't know why I didn't send you a message too, Roland. Shame on me.
Wow.
And I know that he lives right close to Peggy because I've seen them together in videos.
Yeah.
I told Peggy, shh. I didn't say like, shh, don't tell Roland. Don't tell Roland. Honest, I didn't say that.
Oh, that's funny.
I am a new gardener too, Chris.
And picking on John, sure.
And anytime I can pick on John, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think as Shed Wars grows, he's going to get picked on a lot.
Yeah.
Likely.
Yeah.
Gentle nudges are okay. That's
right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think we'll we just wanted to see, like we were giving it this week for people to kind of see what they thought of the idea, and we were posting a couple different videos to just get the word out, and then we said then I'll start kind of, well, hey, I don't know if you saw our video, but
if at any point anybody has any questions,
they can email us.
Doing it as we go along.
Or either of us just kind of. I don't know. I think it's pretty laid back for a first year of development anyways. I think it's going to be a lot of learn as we go, and everybody just has to learn with us.
Yeah, that's it. Enjoy, right?
Exactly. So if they end up, we just end up all sending to everybody and, whatever, or have a big teleconference at one point or a big live and be like, okay, these are what I have. Who wants any?
Yeah, exactly. That's what that other edibles.
Yeah, well, and that's what we kind of said. It just depends how much, we said we could put it out there and you get 100 people that want to do it, and then to try and do it that way is really hard.
Yeah.
But if you end up with only like 20 people, you could just organize a private live that everybody can come to, and we can say, these are what we have to offer. Does anybody want some? We'll mail them.
Yeah, for sure.
So right now it's kind of one of those, there's a little bit of
let's see what happens.
A variety of ways we could play it out. So it's just a case of waiting to see how many people we end up with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all good.
Yes, Chris, we got your email.
You're in.
This isn't like Shed Wars. You don't need to have an entry video.
Nope, just an email.
Yeah, well, and I've actually been getting a hold of some of my people who aren't YouTube creators that I know who are gardeners and saying, hey, you don't have to be a creator. You can still get it.
We put it out on our Facebook page too for anybody that,
a few people to bug too. But.
Yeah, just like people that we knew that gardened and saved seeds and stuff. We kind of put it out to them as well.
Yeah.
So I think it'll come, and we're happy with the results so far.
I'll give them a gentle nudge for a couple of weeks, and then I'll push them off the cliff. No.
You're gonna do it.
Yeah. Like, sorry. No going back now.
That's right.
That's funny. But for anybody, if they have just joined us, because maybe somebody has, we are going to do these lives every Monday. We were talking about this before, but just to say it again so we don't miss anybody. So that's, I think I get this right, 8 Eastern Standard Time, and it's 5 Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
So they do it right.
Yeah.
And
we're in between, depending on where you are.
True. That's true.
And then I'm sure it'll change for some when daylight saving time changes or whatever.
Time stays the same.
Well, no, because Saskatchewan doesn't do daylight savings time, do they?
I don't know.
Getting Clean on the Prairies will be able to answer that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they don't do daylight savings time, so it wouldn't change. Anyway, it's all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now we're just getting complicated, yeah. There'll be a notice ahead of time.
Yeah. At least one.
Yeah, exactly. So, but basically right now we were aiming for sharing a minimum of 3 types of seeds with 5 people is what we were going for at this point. See, I knew it. They don't.
You were right.
I was right.
You were right.
That's on what? That's on live TV. You said I was right.
Right, and there'll be a replay.
There you
It'll
go.
be there forever.
Yes. He always makes me cut out those moments when we edit the videos. It's like today we were videoing the thing to say we're going to be live tonight, and there was a whole thing, and then I had to edit it out because I'm like, I'm keeping that because it's funny.
Keep it for yourself anyway, right? Have a lot of that footage.
Yeah. It's the natural side of things. But anyways, yeah. So I got sidetracked by the whole Saskatchewan not doing daylight savings time. But I think the minimum 3 varieties, 5 people is what we're roughly going for anybody that's, in here and just kind of gathering information. So we're talking about 15 seed exchanges, I guess. But you don't have to give everybody different seeds. You could give all 5 the same 3 types of seeds, and just so and that's not a maximum. That's just we'd like at least 3. I mean, we have a list a mile long of seeds that we we'll add those ones. We'll add those ones. So it'll just be whatever you have. This is a great way to start out new gardeners. If you're somebody that saves a lot, it's a great way to start out new people in it.
And you never know what other people are going to
exactly. So like ground cherries.
Yeah, exactly. You could probably work it out so you can send as many types of seeds as you want to, but just to your 3. Is it 3 people that you'd send it to?
Well, we were saying 5, but it just depended how many people
sign up.
Yeah, sign up to do it. We thought if we did a minimum 3 to 5 people, then everybody would be getting 15 different seed types in theory.
Right.
That's why we were asking, because I know it's not always good to ask for people's contact information and stuff. That's why we were asking for it, because because it's such a quick turnaround. Again, for anybody sort of on the fence who might be watching, we just wanted to make sure that people were on board, so that when we do the sort of, if we have X number of people and we divide everybody up, that those people get the information from the other people kind of right away, and it can just get started. Yeah. So that we were just trying to expedite
and trying to do it that people, like, their information wasn't floating all over the place. Like we were just collecting it in one spot for us, and then we were just going.
Well, and then you would send it out to
and then that way your contact information is not going to 100 different people on some random list.
Here's the people that you're only send seeds to and their contact information.
Exactly. And we had said, if people want to talk amongst themselves so that they can decide what seeds they want, that's completely up to them.
Absolutely.
How they want to do it.
But we'd love to hear the conversation on it too.
Yeah, and if they want to put that on to, video,
lives or whatever.
Yeah.
Hello, gardening in the north. Glad you did stop by.
No.
Have you decided yet?
Yeah, she's doing it.
Do it. No.
Well, but I mean, it's not too bad when you get down to, if you're only talking, 10 to 20 seeds of something, that's not so bad as doing whole packets. So, and I think that's all that you would really.
I'm not sending somebody whole packets of seeds, but I've got seeds where I have limited room in my garden, and so I buy seeds, and I always have extra seeds.
Yeah. Well, what we thought
only lasts for so long, right?
Exactly. And what we thought was just if we all put them into little, like the manila little envelopes, or she's in, good.
Yay.
or Ziploc baggies, and we're just going to get everybody to label them and maybe put a little bit of info on how to grow it.
I don't think that. I can't remember if that was something that I mentioned in the original video. I don't think I did but yeah, whatever people send, it'd be nice to send like, whatever the variety is. And if you've got any notes on how to grow it, like maybe it's something super standard, super simple, but maybe it isn't. So just,
well, and if you're a new gardener, sometimes what's standard and super simple to somebody is not to somebody else.
Somebody else, yeah.
So
we're not asking for a lot.
No. I think it'll be.
We do want to see if people have the video capabilities. We do want to see the videos how it goes.
Yeah. Well, and Wild Edibles had a great idea. She wants to do the video explaining what she's looking for and what she has to offer, so that, and I think we're going to do one saying some of the seeds that we're thinking about sharing, and that just kind of, that way people have an idea of what's on the table from. Yeah. And like I say, there's nothing wrong with it, as far as we're concerned. Any video we post, if somebody sees us talking about a seed and they'd like some, there's nothing wrong with putting something down in the comment section below saying, hey, I'm part of this. Can you make sure if
yeah.
These seeds.
Some of these seeds. Yeah. People, I think that's a good idea, is to let people make requests if they see something in particular that they want. They can request it from whichever.
And there's no point in sending a bunch. This was, again, I'm going back to Wild Edibles, but this was one of her things. You don't want a bunch of seeds that you really don't want to grow or can't grow, or So I mean, if the information is all shared, especially if we're a small enough group that we can do that, then it's great, because you're exchanging seeds for things that you're actually going to use.
Well, and hopefully too, because like we say, we're already, what are we now, 13 people?
Yeah.
13. Then that's after 3 days. So maybe by next week's live, we'll have a better idea, and people can, we have a better idea of how this is going to come together.
And we also want it to be, a close-knit kind of group that actually wants to keep going with the, posting a little video about how they grew, or
the discussion.
Yeah.
Minimum the discussion.
Yeah. And I also, another thing we didn't post in our video, you put in yours, Lori, which I thought was fantastic. Anybody who doesn't create content, to send the photos and whatnot, we'll put it into something to be part of it, because it's still great to see how it's doing in their garden and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
I thought that was a fantastic point that, we hadn't thought about that at all.
It's using the technology to bridge the distance and isolation gaps.
Right. Yeah. Because some people aren't comfortable either being on video or making video, or they know how to shoot video, but they don't know how to do anything else with it, or they know how to take pictures and send them. But I figured we could do that.
Lots of options.
So that was a really good point, and we'll definitely make sure. I want to keep putting in the description some of the details about it in any video that we post, just so that people can see the information over and over and over again. Because
for sure.
Repetition is
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but and this is where we said it's a great, we want to encourage people who haven't done it before to get involved. So that's where it's nice to kind of do the little more private, sending out email type things.
So on that note too, again, reiterating something we've already talked about, but if anybody in here who's thinking about participating or is participating knows of anybody else that they think might be interested in this or might be interested in participating, definitely let them know. Because it's open to everybody.
Yes.
The only thing is you have to be Canadian. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, no, you have to live in Canada. You don't have to be Canadian.
Actually, yes. That's
my
true.
husband is American.
Well, yes, you have to be. We're not shipping cross border.
You have to reside in Canada.
Where you come from.
Well, but you should definitely organize a swap. I mean, it's a great thing, even if you only have 5 people who want to do it. It's still a great thing to do. So I think, and who knows how much interest there will be.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, there's already some, so.
Exactly. So hopefully we've kind of touched on a few of people's questions and things today, and
I don't know if anybody else has any questions or thoughts or comments,
ideas on improvement. This is kind of going by the
flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, I never know exactly what I should say on TV.
What did we do? We sat down and was it Saturday morning I wrote this up?
Yeah.
I think. So we've been thinking about it, but never
put it on paper.
Yeah. So we're just like doing it.
There you go.
Yeah, Lori, you kicked us into gear.
Yep.
And sometimes that's all you need is a swift kick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it came together quick. We work well under pressure.
It's
Yeah.
The gentle nudge. Yeah.
Yeah, until you get to the edge, and then it's boop.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like no choice. You're going for it.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but hey, if we can get a few more
Oh, hi, Rose.
people into the gardening and seed saving and whatnot, I think it's great. So
and eventually the sharing too.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of like, it's had a little of a knock on, like Shed Wars is very much about this sort of stuff as well. The seed saving, sustainability, getting, growing food, that sort of stuff. And it was just sort of something that we said, well, we need to have sort of something in Canada that kind of is pushing towards.
There are, but
yeah, exactly.
This is a little different take on it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, and I would love to learn more about saving seeds. I mean, I saved the seeds out of my paprika peppers, but those are pretty easy and pretty obvious, right? Saving seeds out of peppers. And then the same with tomatoes and stuff. Like some things, it's pretty obvious what the seed is and what it isn't, right? But some of the things, like I let some carrots go to seed. I didn't let them completely flower and go to seed because I wanted the space in my garden.
We watched that video. They were huge.
Yeah.
They were huge. They were giant. They were taking up so much room, and then the carrots were like this big, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it gets some things are really complicated too, right? Like on the easy side, it's like you say tomatoes. Like you say, you know exactly where it is, and they don't really cross pollinate.
Right.
Like there's guidelines for how far to keep things apart from one another, and usually, I always hesitate getting into the technical side of it, but most tomato varieties, they only have to be like 3 meters apart.
Mm.
So you could even have like
on the opposite end of an 8-foot bed, and they won't cross, or
so it's
roughly
pretty simple. But then like carrots are tricky because Queen Anne's lace. I don't know. Queen Anne's lace is everywhere here in Ontario. It's the wild carrot. Basically, they cross with the domestic carrots. So when they cross, you lose all your characteristics. So it's like timing so that it doesn't go at the same time as the Queen Anne's lace. Some of them get complicated.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that carrots would cross pollinate.
Yeah, they don't. Well, they'll cross pollinate with other varieties, but then
Right.
also with the wild Queen Anne's lace.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
It's interesting, and when you go down
the
looking
rabbit
into
hole.
it, yeah, the rabbit hole, as we say, it's one of those, and it is one of those things there's nothing wrong with keeping seeds even if they are crossed. It's still food. Food is food.
Right.
I mean, like at the end of the day, if you were
Well, it might be a wonderful new hybrid.
exactly. I mean, so you're always able to keep seeds in that, and it's just one of those, if you actually love something and want those characteristics to stay, then that's when you're going, okay, I need to keep that separate so that I know it's going to be the same year after year.
One thing that I saw was one person that I knew, once it was pollinated or before it was pollinated, or she would cover it, at least one or two of the fruit so that she knew, or two of the flowers so she knew that they were only pollinated by what they were supposed to be pollinated by.
Yeah,
there's
you could grow them close together, but not have to worry about them cross-pollinating.
exactly. And then you just tag that particular flower so that you know that the fruits.
Well, or you can go one step further and they call them like isolation cages. So a lot of the times they do that for peppers because peppers are funny because they're attractive to insects. And I don't have all the separation distances memorized, but their separation distance is a bit bigger. I want to say it's like 800 feet or something like that. I can't.
It's far.
Don't quote me on that. But then it can also sort of depend on your population size. So if you've got like two varieties growing right next to each other and they're different, they'll probably cross. But if you've got a bigger patch, sometimes the pollinators will kind of stay in that patch as opposed to going right? Like it all depends on how much activity you're getting from your pollinators. And then, of course, you go even more complicated than like corn, which is wind pollinated. And just
Let's just keep it
corn is complicated, but it's still fun all the same.
He's a big seed collector.
Well, I'm not even perfect at it, but
yeah,
there you go. Good.
Well, but it is one of those things. Like, I mean, for us, when we grow squash, we make a choice of, are we growing crooked neck squash, or are we growing zucchini? Because we don't want to have to hand pollinate, so we're not growing them both because they cross. So we just grow one.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, and you can alternate, right? Because the seeds keep long enough. So one year you grow this one year you grow that one, and it works out quite well. But
there's little tricks to make it go longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Stretch it and have more varieties.
Even better.
Yeah. But I think that's our.
You do need to learn from this. You do videos of everything, every seed that you harvest this year, Chris.
Well, the nice part is this year at least we'll be starting from the planting, because it starts. Well, like you said, the squash are a great example, right? Because there's four different species of squash. I'll go into this for a second.
Prepare yourself.
There's four different species of squash, and within each of those four species, there's multiple varieties that have been created. So I always mess them up. I can never pronounce them right. But Cubra pepo or C. pepo is like your zucchinis and a lot of the pumpkins and the summer squashes. And that's the one there's like hundreds of different varieties.
Gooden is telling you to geek out. It's okay.
I do this from time to time. But that one, there's so many varieties because of all the varieties, that's usually the easiest one to hand pollinate. But then when you get into some of the other ones, like we've tried growing the Cubra maxima or C. maxima, which is a lot of like the Hubbard squashes and the other half of the pumpkins. Just because it's a pumpkin, they could actually be two completely different species.
Oh my! Okay.
Yeah, it's. But anyways, in our experience, the C. maxima doesn't hand pollinate well, so you're almost better off, like you say, doing the alternating. If you wanted more than one kind, grow one year, one the next year, or just grow one kind. It gets really complicated because you need to have them really far apart. But with the Cubra pepos, you can do it. It just takes a little bit of time and thinking to
do all the hand pollinating.
Do all the hand pollinating because you have to keep track of it.
Actually, somebody on Shed Wars had a really good. One of the Australian Shed Wars people had a really good short on hand pollinating.
But they're in a different. They have some different conditions to us because they don't have pollinators that are attracted to the squash flowers. But
so they have to.
The squash are all native to North America originally, so all the pollinators here love them.
Oh, this was a major geek out.
I'll stop there.
You're done. That was.
I was going to ask actually. Do you always have? I don't grow squash because I don't have room for it. But do you always have to hand pollinate those types? I'm thinking about doing a pumpkin this year.
No, you don't.
We get tons of pollinators here.
Yeah, because now the hardest part though is if you wanted to save seeds, you'd have to know, like in your case, are your neighbors growing any? If not, then you're probably fine. Because
even my neighbor's garden is quite a long ways away.
So you might be fine then. But in your case, it's probably easier to just have one kind.
Then you don't have to have pollinate.
I just got one type of pumpkin seed, and I think I might grow a couple of those, 2 or 3 of those, and
still. We also find even with the hand pollinating. They can now cucumbers are worse for this. That's why we only grow one kind of cucumber. But they can abort. So if you hand pollinate them and they don't like it, they just drop the flowers. And we've had years in the past. It usually ends up on your growing season. If you got a kind of a harsh year, they seem to abort more. But where you hand pollinate and nothing takes, so it's easier almost to do that bit of planning and think, okay, like I say, if you had the space, one of each of the 4 species is easier than 4 of one kind, or you know what I mean? Because
they don't cross.
It's just less work. For lack of a better way to put it.
It would be in my gnome garden, so it would be kind of away from
you
everything.
got lots of space. You got more space there that they can kind of sprawl out.
Right.
Well, and separation distances can be affected by buildings too, right? So
yeah, because you've got
there's 2 buildings between between where my pumpkin will be and the nearest garden.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that could actually help you. Now it's if you go and do research on separation distances, like they'll kind of tell you. Sometimes they'll give you a range, but it's factors like that affect the range, right? So you just kind of have to know your area. It's kind of the short answer.
But you know your neighbors and what like you say, if you've got that sort of stuff in between, odds are you're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we've never done. We don't do a lot of hand pollinating, and they all do fine. And you, I'm sure, have more bugs. Most
we have a lot of pollinators. I have a couple of bushes that just bring them in like crazy.
Yeah. So I would have said you.
But then fine. We have a lot of them here because something we've not had at the old place we lived at was carpenter bees. We didn't even know what they were at first. They don't sting. But we have a lot
of those around here too. We've got a few houses here in the park that have hives.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So that's good.
So we have lots of. I've never hand pollinated anything.
No.
So it's easier not to.
That's sort of our way of. We're trying to make everything as simple as possible.
Right.
And still keep the variety.
Yeah. So sometimes it comes down to making some hard choices on which one you're going to grow because but.
It's like our beet succession plan that we have going.
You have what?
Our beet succession plan because beets are wind pollinated and have to they're a crazy separation.
The ultimate goal for Chris is that we don't buy seeds ever.
Okay.
Everything that we have, even if it's
never happen.
Yeah, it will never happen. But that's the ultimate goal.
But it would be fun. Even if 50% of what we grew we could save the seeds from.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
And if everybody did that,
even
quite sustainable.
But this is where I come back to the thing of having the community, because even if you can't all do it, if you're part of a community that does, then you're good.
Yeah.
Well, everybody benefits from
it. It's not. I mean, when we put in 125 tomatoes every year, it's no problem for us to get tomato seeds from multiple varieties, or the squash we grow.
Last
50.
Year we didn't, but
we put in 20. We did 24 crooked neck squash. That produced a whole lot, so we have a lot of seeds.
The squash, actually.
Yeah, we have to take them out and dry them before we do sending. So, but anyway, it's. I think it'll be a great thing, and I'm glad that we've wrestled up some interest already so far.
Yes, I think that's fantastic. Yeah. Such a short period of time.
Yeah, give it another week. Be going crazy.
See where we're at. You never know.
He's growing. Oh, you're going indoor cucumber. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard cucumbers are really finicky. Because I did some research into trying to grow more than one kind, even outdoors. And they said the dropping the hand pollinating is just almost not worth it unless you're super diligent. So. Mm-hmm.
I never thought of growing cucumbers indoors.
We probably could. We probably could because that's the other side effect to a lot of fruit and vegetables is you get fruit flies.
Yes, that's true.
We've got ready-made pollinators in the house.
True enough.
Not welcome pollinators. But.
The more you try and get rid of them,
Apple cider vinegar with a couple drops of dish soap.
Yeah, that's sitting in the center of the table all the time.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them around the house.
Yeah. Until the cats go and check it out, and then you have.
Oh yeah. My cat can't get to it. Again, old cats can't jump thing.
Oh, ours are still young and agile, so.
Yes, we have.
Makes it fun.
Well, yeah. Anyways, we have a lot of cats. Potentially not healthy. But yes, we did a little bit of rescuing this year, so we've got 8 young, under a year old cats. So yes, so they definitely get into a lot of trouble and destroy a lot of plants.
They don't leave our spider plant alone.
Wow, yeah, they do. But
nor is the cutest. Yes, but we haven't filmed them all yet.
I'm trying to think of which cats have made it into videos even.
Oh, they've made little cameos.
Yeah. But we call them our gardening cats because they help. Anytime soil comes out, they're there.
Yes. They found the worm bin fascinating.
The worm bin.
Cat. Oh no.
And they're white. They're white cats, so it's just
even better. Even better.
Oh yes. No. The nice thing is though, you know right away when to go and check on the plants because somebody will come up with like a dirt smudge or something. You'll be like, someone's been in the plants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just include them in the credits.
But I don't know if anybody else has any questions because we're coming up on an hour.
Coming up on an hour, yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully we've covered off some stuff. It's not a competition. It's just kind of a lighthearted, I don't know, community building, good thing to do.
Yeah.
And hopefully people can learn some things along the way from everybody. I'm certainly not an expert.
That is the goal, right?
Oh, exactly.
Share seeds and grow stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
And it's kind of getting us excited because, you know, you're in that winter kind of lull where you're like, you're planning, but, you know, it's not super exciting yet. So, although I did see in Guten's latest video that he's sowing seeds for spring already. So I guess we better get going.
Yeah.
We still got to sort our seeds.
Yeah, we still have to sort it.
We got boxes of them that are feet that are unsorted.
But,
yeah, well, we should get on that then.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Well, that may be a next week's topic.
There you go.
Can we organize our seeds?
Yeah.
That'll be the mini challenge to anybody that's already in and has their own seeds. Go and organize and see what you have.
Yes. Come back next week. Well, what I'm thinking we'll probably do is after the 24th, that live the following week. The 24th is what? Is that Monday or is that?
That's Friday.
I don't remember. I thought it was either Sunday or Monday was the 24th. But
next Monday is the 18th.
So the one after that, so Sunday is the 24th. So midnight Sunday was the cutoff. So we have a live on the 24th as well that I think that would be a nice one to have people bring to the table if we're going to discuss what people have and things like that.
Right.
Because it'd be nice for people to do the mail out at the beginning of February, like you say, beginning to mid-February.
And we should have you should be able to kind of, unless this goes crazy, we should be able to have a fair idea of like breaking people off into groups.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll aim for that, unless things go crazy, and then we're not going to do that.
We're glad that you are participating because that's awesome, and it's something we're hoping to keep going for years to come. You know, like we say, building this little community that we can all share seeds and do a swap every spring, or even if we get more organized, we could do it. You know, maybe even before the new year, which might give people time to really have their seeds ready.
Right.
But I see Roland there saying about it's more important than ever to grow things this year. And I do think you're right. Mm-hmm. I mean, every time we go to the grocery store, things seem to get more and more expensive or harder to find, or the quality. I mean, we go and we look at some of the stuff and go, God, do I really want to pay for that? So, I mean, it is definitely better to grow it if we can. So, and Getting Clean on the Prairies has got a winter sowing video coming soon as well.
That would be good.
Awesome. Well, we are watching these and learning because we are getting in the groove. And yeah, that's one area that we've always kind of been.
We've always been behind.
Yeah, well, we always focused on the animal side of the farm and not so much the garden side. In the last year or two, we've started to really try and get the garden side going, but we're not very good at succession planting.
Moving didn't help.
Well, moving
last
didn't
year
help.
Was still kind of catch up. But
anyway, so it's great all these channels posting this sort of stuff because it gives us the reminder that maybe we should be doing that. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. I think we should probably call it a night. We're coming right up on 1 hour.
I think it's perfect.
Perfect. And we'll see you all next Monday at
doing the Monday still at 8:05.
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
And next week it will be on Hickory Croft Farm channel.
Yep.
Yes, because
I'll be putting a link to it, and yeah. So we'll see you all then, I hope.
Perfect. Thank you so much for hosting.
For anybody who hasn't got their email sent, we'll see your emails before then.
Yes.
HickoryCroftFarm@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and also, if anybody does post a video, sorry, I'm doing a few last minute plugs, but if anybody does post a video, be sure to put into the title, what are we putting in the title?
Canadian Seed Challenge.
Canadian Seed Challenge 2021. And then that way we can find you to add your videos to the playlist, which we will keep going for infinity. So, yeah, that's about it.
There you go. All right. Good night, all.
Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. You need to stop our